Hi everybody. So today I'm just going to talk to you about addicts and responsibility. So I know a lot of people come to me and they say, Brianna, my son or daughter was doing great. They were moving on with their lives. They went to college, they got a degree, they got married, had kids, did something really awesome with their life, and then they relapsed and threw it all away. And I want to tell you something about addicts and responsibility. Usually recovering addicts like to start doing a whole bunch of stuff at once because we have that all or nothing mentality that causes us to take on way too many things. And when we do that, we end up taking on way too much. And then when we feel that we have taken on too much, we self-sabotage because we think we're not good enough and we end up failing. And this is something that has happened to a lot of recovering addicts. So they find themselves in this predicament where suddenly they're on the news because they relapsed and got into a car accident or something crazy happened. And addicts do not know how to take on responsibility. So here's the thing. When that person asks me, Brianna, why does my son or daughter not want to take on responsibility? Why would they do that? Why would they throw everything away when they have children, they have a family? Why would they do that? They were getting their life together. Things were going so well. Why would my child do that? It's because that insecurity and doubt they had embedded in themselves when they were using came back on them and they didn't know how to deal with it. So in order to deal with it, they decided to self-sabotage and relapse so that you wouldn't expect anything of them. It's like an internal situation. It's like a cycle. So we tell ourselves we're not good enough. We get those self-doubts. Somebody says that they don't have faith in us. So what do? We turn around and show them we can't do it. And it really is just a self-sabotaging defense mechanism that a lot of addicts do. So, if you find yourself in the place of dealing with an addict that has relapsed or is going through a rough patch, do not get hard on them for not doing what they're supposed to because they have taken on too much in the beginning. And if you are in recovery, my best advice to you is don't take on everything at once. Don't immediately go back to school. Don't immediately run out there and get a job. Take the time to go to counseling. Find a counselor that you trust, not just a drug court counselor. Find one that is an overall counselor that cares about your well-being, not just your substance abuse. You can also have two. You can have a regular counselor and a substance abuse counselor. Talk to somebody if you're on a maintenance drug. Go to counseling as well because a lot of people get way off the road with maintenance drugs, and I'm not against them. I'm not for them. I don't have problems with them. I think they do help a lot of people, but a lot of people take off because of them, because they get too strung out with them. They don't understand how to use them correctly, and that's where people get into trouble. It's really an educational thing. And when you're putting pressure, I've heard this from my mother before. She would say things to me like, well, you're not doing heroin anymore, so why can't you just do this? You're running an organization, you're in school, you're working a lot, you take care of people, you're a nurse. Why can't you just... Okay, well, that statement in itself is wrong, and you should not be using that statement with anybody, even people that aren't in recovery. Why can't you just? See, when you make that statement, you're making somebody feel belittled, even if you're not meaning to. Even if you're just mad and you're frustrated because you really want somebody to help you and they can't help you. So you're mad. You don't want to do it alone. Say you're somebody that loves an addict and you're taking on all the responsibility, and now they've gotten out. Maybe you've watched their child, right? So maybe you have an addict's daughter or son, and you've been taking care of them for years. So now years have gone by, they've gone through rehab, they've gone through the halfway house, now they're out of the halfway house, and now maybe they're telling you, I only want to take my son or daughter a couple days a week because I'm not ready. I'm telling you right now, if you do not respect the fact that they are telling you that addict that you love could find themselves relapsing even quicker, because taking on children, I'm telling you right now, not all of us are meant to have kids, and a lot of us addicts do have kids because of the fact that we made a lot of bad decisions or a lot of choices without thinking about it, so we ended up with children. And I do believe you should take care of your children if you have them, if you bring them into this world. But also, if they want to have a parent that truly cares about them and can do that, let me see. It might just be the lighting. I'm on my phone. But if you want... Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it to wave. Yeah, but if you want that, parent to be good to you and be able to take care of you, and you want that addict to be able to do their job, you have to give them time to recover, and they may never recover. You might honestly be stuck with somebody's child for the rest of their life. And it's really sad because I know that children grow up with these insecurities because their parents aren't around, and it's really unfortunate because they grow up with like a hole inside them that carries on into their adult years. And I've seen this with multiple people, even people that have been raised by one parent and maybe not the other. Hi, Tracy. They tend to go through this period of like, why aren't they good enough? Like, why didn't their parents want them? So forth, right? So this is where like that parent probably couldn't take on the responsibility, but as a child, like, we couldn't understand that. So we formed this insecurity that we didn't even know existed, that carried us into our addictions, into everything else, and then into the cycle that causes us to live this life of dysfunction. If you're living a dysfunctional life, like, you know it. You know if you're living a dysfunctional life. And if you are, you cannot take care of kids, you can't keep a job, you can't do a lot of different things. And even if you are running by the seat of your pants, chances are one little thing can mess all of that up. So if you're in a situation where one little thing can mess up your entire life and everything you worked for, you're in a bad position and you're not in the right one. So how do you get out of that? As an addict, if you're in recovery, you need to be around people that are willing to help you with your children no matter what. And I'm going to tell you right now, not every adult is out there to help you. Not every other person really cares about you. Maybe they care about your kids, but maybe they really don't care if you're ever back with your kids. And you want to be with somebody and be around people that want to see you grow and take your kids back in the end. They may love them, but if they know what's best for the child is to be with their parents, they will promote that. So you need somebody that is willing to grow with you, work with you, with your children. They are willing to help you with your job. You have to be open with the people that you work with as far as employment. Tell them you need to go to meetings. Tell them you have counseling. Tell them that you have depression, anxiety, all those different things that you deal with mental health wise. You need to be able to be open and honest with an employer about that. And when you can get out of the video, little Patty, when you can do that, you can move forward with your life and have somebody that you can speak openly with. So if you're going through a rough point, you can avoid the pitfall of a relapse by talking with them. Like, listen, I'm working, I'm doing a lot of things at once. Can you work with me? Can I go to my meetings? Can I go to my counseling? Are you able to let me off some days so that I can do that? If I'm getting too under pressure, can I speak with my boss about those things? That's something you need to think about. And I say this a lot because it's really important. I've been very open with my employers because I really don't care. I'm very open. I obviously have an organization dedicated to being open. And I think that that's really helped me as far as being able to maintain my employment. And I go through ruts where I really don't like to be at work, and I go through ruts where I'm really stressed out and it consumes me, and I'm maybe not the best person I could be, and I understand that. And I think we all go through that as humans. So don't feel bad if you've taken on too much responsibility, and maybe you need to limit that. So if you've come to this point where you're working, you have your kids, you have like your husband, your wife, you're married, whatever, you need to find out what part of your life is causing you to be overwhelmed. So say you feel like you're on the verge of a relapse, or you're on the verge of just letting everything go. Don't do it. Talk with a counselor. Talk with a respectable person that loves you and cares about you, that can maybe lighten the load for you. Maybe take a couple days off work. Maybe go and get it. Maybe switch counseling. Maybe the counseling you're going to isn't good for you. Maybe you're not even in counseling and you haven't even thought about it. Maybe you don't have insurance and maybe you can't get into that. I know a lot of people only have insurance that covers certain things, and I understand that. Maybe you need to go to a support group. Maybe you need to start going to meetings. I'm telling you right now, meetings have helped so many people. It's ridiculous. You need to get out of the videos right now. There's my problem right there. Just kidding. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just telling you, if you're in that predicament, no, I'm on live. You need to stop. Go play with your friend.
Hi.
If you're on live and you're going through this situation, you need to understand that it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to go through a lot of things, but you need to come clean about it. You need to talk about it with somebody, and you have to be open and willing to move forward with that and think of a new way and new ideas to get you feeling better and doing what you need to be doing. Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, my kid's father, he goes through a lot too, and it's really hard because, we watch him go through different situations, and we really, really want him to get better. So, everybody has their own idea. Hey, can you guys be down a little bit? We want everybody to get better. So, we always want him to get better, and we all have different ideas of, what he needs as an addict and a recovering addict to get better, right? So we all have these different ideas, and then nothing works because he feels like everybody's throwing things at him like this, and nobody's just supporting him. But the truth is, he has to be his own support system as well, and he has to be strong enough to do the things that he needs to do as well. So I understand, the thing is not everybody consciously thinks I'm going to relapse. What happens is they start getting stressed out. They don't take care of it. The stress gets bigger. It gets bigger. It gets bigger. Suddenly they find themselves in a really terrible situation that they didn't even ask for. Well, they kind of did because they didn't address it beforehand, but then they don't know what to do with it. So they end up relapsing, then they feel even more guilty about it, they're more shameful about it, they keep relapsing, they don't get on a maintenance program, they end up on heroin or something, then suddenly their whole life is down the drain, they lose their kids again, and the cycle continues. Do you see how that works? So it's really, really scary because not a lot of us have resources to really take care of that. Not all of us can just run out and go to a counseling session. Not all of us can just run out and go speak to people and do all these things. And truthfully, yes, I do have a lot of access to these things because I do have a mother that helps me babysit. I do have, my daughter's father's mother does babysit. My daughter's father's sister babysits. My boyfriend babysits. His sister babysits. I have a lot of people that have supported me, and that has really helped me as far as my recovery. Even when I was on drug court, the treatment court coordinator supported me so much that I went in the right direction. Now, had she not supported me, would I have completed it? Probably not, to be honest. I think that her support actually is the only reason why I completed. And you know what? I was not perfect on drug court. I left the county. I did a lot of things I was pretty honest about, but had issues with. And I think that, it's really hard for us to do everything. Get out of the video now. You know you're not supposed to, so stop. See? And I'm stirred. I don't care. They're not supposed to be in the video. So, if, in that predicament, I wasn't ready to take on all the responsibilities that drug court wanted me to. They wanted me to not talk to guys at all. They wanted me to just focus on my recovery.